Hi guys, I was having a chat with a gentleman recently and he was asking me about how I go about sharpening my pruning saws. So I thought, well, rather than talk him through it in messages and whatnot, I thought I'd just do a video, quick video, show you how I go about it and the tools that I use to get it done. On that note, a gentleman said to me the other day, he PM'd me in the messages and said that could I do a video on shears for the multi-tool that I use. I could do, yes, quite easily, but there is a video already out there on Jason Gardner's channel, an excellent channel. I strongly recommend anybody to go and watch it if you already haven't, and subscribe. Loads of information on it, quality channel. And he's got one on his, how he goes about sharpening it and the tools that he uses, and shows you how to do it. It's exactly how I do mine. The tools we use are the same, how it's done is the same. So there's no point in me doing a video of shears because I can't better what he's done. It's exactly the same. So if you want to see one about that, go over to his channel, have a look. You'll find it in my subs list. Go down through his list of videos, find it and watch it. It's superb. It's really good quality and it'll work every time. They'll be razor sharp when they're done. Perfect. So there's little point in me doing it. So I'll do one if people ask for it, but if not, go there and watch it. So this is how I do my pruning saw and the tools that I use to do it. Now I've already gone ahead and cleaned it. I've taken it apart, cleaned the inside. Very simple process. Taking the bar off, taking the chain off, put the chain in some hot water with some fairy liquid and a bit of Mr. Muscle, left it in there for half an hour, and then gone over it with a toothbrush and washed it off with clean water. Don't see the point in buying these detergents which, you know, they try and flog you in the shops these days. Overpriced, too expensive, and just your normal home care products that your wife will use will do the job just as good. So use them. Cleaned it all up, that's all brought out now, put it back on again. Everything's been cleaned and put back together, chains at the right tension, and we're good to go. So how I go about and sharpen it, very simple process with the tools that I use, and all I really use, to be honest with you, is a kit. It's a kit that you can buy. It's from Oregon. There, comes in a little handy roll, and what you get in that kit is one of these, a file on a bar which slides across, and you've got some guidelines on there. Sorry about the light. You've got an X there and an X there. Now the lines on this bar here follow, you put them on the direction and they follow the line of the chain. So this line here for the tooth going left to right is now in line with the chain, and you draw the file across it. Okay, so that line there from left to right, so this line is in line with the chain, and you go like that. All right, now that's the tooth going from left to right. When you go for a tooth going from right to left, you turn the file around and you put that line in line with the chain. Okay, now as long as that line stays in line with the chain, and you draw the file up it, not down it, up it, like that, make sure that that line is in line with the chain, you cannot go wrong. You'll get a seriously sharp tooth. Now, you don't want to put loads of pressure on. You're not trying to gouge out loads of metal off it. All you're trying to do is just take off a bit of the edge, just it sharpens it up again, and you just made it nice and good, usable, nice and good. So again, from left to right, follow the line. Make sure that that line is in line with the chain, nice and straight, and it's in the same direction. Okay, and then just go across the face of the tooth. Bring it back down again, across the face of the tooth. All right, very simple process. You can't go wrong. I'm putting hardly any pressure on it. I'm doing it nice and slow, taking my time, and getting a nice sharp edge on that. Right, lovely edge on it. Okay, and same with that one. Okay, next tooth going from right to left. Make sure that line is in line with the chain, and then go across it. Okay, don't go moving the file around. If you move the file around and that line, those lines don't stay in line with the chain, you'll take the edge off the tooth. You'll flatten it out and it'll be no good. The chain will be useless, be no good whatsoever. So always make sure that these lines stay in line with the chain, go across in the right direction. You really can't go wrong. It's pretty self-explanatory, really. You can't go wrong, but take your time. So that's what that's for, and wicked bit of kit that really is good. And when you're doing that, when you go from tooth to tooth, just take the file. When you move on to the next one, just take the file handle, yeah, and just rotate it clockwise, quarter turn. Every time, just keep rotating. That way, when the file wears, you'll wear the file out in a rounded fashion rather than just flatten off one edge, and then it'll just put it out of balance. Not very good. Okay, so that's what that's for. You get a flat file, and you get one of these contraptions. Okay. Now, what this is for, and what you use that for, is for the other end of the tooth. Okay. Now, you have two ends to these teeth. You have the main tooth there, and you have the smaller tooth there. There is a proper name for it, but for the life of me, I can't remember. So if anyone else knows, put it in the comment section below, because I'm useless with it. I just keep forgetting. Okay. So what you do with that is you take this. Okay. Not the flat edge at the top there. You take it and put it with the grooved bit over the tooth, yeah? So it sits like that. Sorry, alright? Alright, so if you look at it, you can see on the top, you know when you got it right, because you'll see Oregon, and you'll see some numbers and a bit of writing there, okay? So that sits over the whole tooth, okay? You can see the big bit of the tooth and the little bit of the tooth. Now, what I recommend is you do this particular bit on the small tooth before you do the big tooth. Okay. I mean, the reason why I say that is because if you do it the other way around, when you put the file on top of the small tooth, you'll actually be drawing it across, and you might just catch the front of the big tooth. You don't want to do that. You know, you don't want to sharpen it and then go drawing this across it and taking the edge off it. So always do the small tooth first. Okay. Now with the small tooth, show it the same respect with the file that you'll show in the big tooth with the other file, okay? Just put it on and just go across it lightly. You're not taking off loads of metal. You know, I've seen other guys do this, and they're gouging away at it, hammering at it as hard as they can, thinking that, you know, the more meat they take off, the sharper the edge they'll get. Not true. Won't happen. You'll just end up filing away loads of metal. You'll go through chains like a hot knife through butter. So just don't do it. So just take the file, put it on top of the tooth, yeah, starting at the top of the file, yeah, and just gently work your way down it, okay? Gently. Don't need loads of strokes. It's not a race. You're not going at it hammer and tongs. Just gently go down it, right? And then give it a feel. Lovely and sharp. I've just done 3 strokes there. Bearing in mind, this chain is as blunt as blunt. I've been using it for over a week now. It's been really put through its paces. This was the saw that I used in my Monster Laurel hedge videos. So it took off loads. I mean, it took off absolute tons and tons and tons of wood. So it's well blunt. So again, you know, just put it over the tooth, right, and just gently. That's all you need to do, okay? Those 2 tools there, absolute perfect for the job. Now, like I said, do those 2 first, okay? Do the small teeth first. Go around the entire chain, do the small teeth first, using those 2 tools. Then when you're done, get this one out, like we just spoke earlier, sit it on the tooth, make sure those lines follow the chain, and do the same again. Just gently, 3 or 4 strokes on each tooth, have a feel, sharpen it up, perfect. Okay, once that's done, yeah, give it a good oiling. Yeah, once you've got it all sharp and you've got it clean, give it a good going over with some oil. Now, I use that. Okay, just put your bog standard 3-in-1 oil. Okay, when I'm putting everything back together again, that's all I do. Put it on the chain. Now, I always put a little bit of mine inside the bar, both sides, up and down. Not lashings of it. You don't want to be larraping it in there, so it's dripping in oil. You know, I've seen some videos where they're absolutely plastering it in oil, and then when you go to use it, you transfer that to the hedge. Not a good idea. You really don't want to be doing that. That'll brown the hedge off really quick, and it's not good for the hedge either. Not good for your tools, and it's not good for the hedge. So just use what you need. And then once you've done all that, just drip a bit of 3-in-1 between each of the teeth, and then run the chain round. All right, run it round a few times by hand. Okay. And make sure that that's all working, so that it's lubed, everything's covered, it's got oil on it, yeah, but it's not swimming in it. You don't want loads. Once you've done that, fill your reservoir up with your bar chain oil, then you're good to go. Put it onto your machine, have a crack at it, make sure it turns around, make sure everything's spinning, there's no crunching noises, nothing sounds like it shouldn't do, so that it's all in place, and then you're good to go. But make sure you got your chain tension right. You don't want this chain hanging down. You really don't. It's not good. You just want, you make sure when you want it tighten it up. So I do myself just a little bit of play there. Yeah, it's not pulling right down. It's not so tight that it won't move. It's just a little bit of play there. Get it all nice and oiled. Get it lubed up. Make sure you put the grease in the grease nipples, because you do need to keep that lubricated as well. And you're good to go. And that really is, chaps, how I do mine. You also get this little tool that comes inside the Oregon pack I was just talking about. Use that to clean inside the bar. So obviously when you've got the chain off and everything's taken apart, take your bar off. You've got a little hook on the end there. You can hook that inside the bar, go down, that takes all the rubbish out, both sides, cleans the bar out. Plus this is really, really good as well for in the back bit here, getting in around all the tight nooks and crannies and inside the little bolts and around the nuts and everything. Gets all that nice and clean as well. As most of you know, I am really fastidious about how I do that, and I like my stuff to be really, really clean. Now, I use 2 chains. And I know people say that's a bit weird, what, you got a spare? No, I don't have a spare. I just have 2 chains. Now, I use this chain for the bigger work. So when I'm talking about branches over sort of 2 inches, got a bit of meat in them, they're nice and thick, I use this chain. This has got an 1.5 inch gap between each tooth. Right, that's all you need. When it's sharp, that'll power through a lump quite easily. It'll go through a thick stem, no problem at all, like a knife through butter. Perfect. But when you're on a hedge like laurel, anything like that, it's got a lot of spindly branches, a lot of small thin branches around a main stem, you're better off going over to one of these. Now, for all intents and purposes, it's the same chain, but if you look, the teeth are a lot closer. They're only 1 inch apart on this one. Yeah, there's only one link between the tooth. So you've got tooth, link, tooth, link, tooth, link. Now that is much better on spindly branches, the thinner branches, because you've got less of a gap between the teeth. So you've got more contact. The more contact you've got, the more you're going to cut. It's as simple as that. All right. So I use that. Whereas this one, you've got tooth, link, link, tooth, link, link, tooth, and you've got a bigger gap. So by doing it that way, I find it works better for me. Now, it takes 30 seconds to change a chain, it really does. And it gives me a better finish. I find that the work is better, the cuts are neater, the cuts are tidier, so that it looks better. So that's why I do it. If I could get the same effect using one chain, I would. I can't. I tend to find that swapping the chains though gives me a better effect, gives me a better finish, so that's why I do it. So that's really how I do mine, guys. That's the tools I use. That's how I do it. Like I said, I do it once a week. I do it as often as need be, really. If it needs it twice a week, I'll do it twice a week. Depends on what work it goes through. But I do keep them clean. I do keep them sharp, and I really, really do look after them, because, like I said, these are the ones that are paying your bills. They're doing the work. And that's all really I do, and that's how I go about it. But like I said, if you want to look for other things like shears and stuff and how to do that, please go and have a look at Jason Gardner's channel. Absolutely banging. It's on there, so there's no point in me waffling on and doing another one about it. But if you do and you haven't seen it and you want me to do one, please leave a comment, and I'll see what I can do, and I'll knock one up for you, and we'll go from there, really. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Please hit like, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care, stay safe, stay warm, and I'll see you soon. Ta-da.